Yeah. Y'all watching the Grind Ethiks mixtape show, and I'm your host, Victory BX Supreme Promoter. Basically, you know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Basically. Yeah, thank y'all for watching new episode of the Grind Ethiks mixtape show. Anybody that like this episode, I'll be very grateful if anyone could follow me on Instagram. Also, like, share, and also subscribe. But when you subscribe, ring the bell. After you subscribe, ring that little tiny bell. So, and whenever I upload new videos, y'all be the first ones to get it. Know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Basically. Also, if anybody definitely like this episode of Grind Ethics, I'll be very grateful if anyone could hit me with a friendly donation. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy. The link is down below. Grind Ethics Cash App. That's Grind Ethics Cash App. Anyway, I'm continuing on with my story of Power Play Studios. Yes. This is the second episode of my special segment, Power Play Studios. For those who didn't check out the first episode, and for those who don't know what Power Play Studios is, Power Play Studios is a legendary music studios. I don't want to put it in the box and say it was just a hip hop music studio, but anyway, it's a legendary studio that was started in Queens, New York at first, right? By a man named Tony Afrey. At first, it's supposed to be the first initial idea was to make it a big rock and roll studio, a home of rock and roll artists. But it didn't turn out that way. It turned out to be the home of a bunch of hip hoppers, underground rap, hip hop, underground rap artists, and also famous rap artists. So that's how it became. Um, and it was very big in the 80s and 90s. Power Play Studios was the home of recordings of classic songs like South Bronx, different songs from cats like Coogee Rap, Slick Rick, uh, Freddie Fox, D Nice, all the Queens heads, uh, uh, um, Dana Dane, people like that. All the Queens heads that you could name from back in the day. Large Professor, you know what I'm saying? Even Nas, you know, people like that touched Power Play Studios. And Power Play Studios was right near Queensbridge. And remind you, back in the 90s, Queensbridge was real big in 90s hip hop. So that's where most of the famous and a lot of underground Queens rappers actually recorded their music, especially because it was kind of cost effective. It was less money than the big studios over there in Manhattan, in Midtown and downtown Manhattan. And I used to in the late '90s, in 1996. That's when I started working at Power Play Studios as an intern from '96 to '98, which was one of my wonderful memories of a as a young man. I'm still a young man, but as a younger man. But yeah, but check out the last episode. Check out the last episode that I produced on about Power Play Studios down below. The link is down below. My last episode talking about Power Play Studios is down below. That's my very first Power Play story episode on the Grind Ethics Mixtape Show. Basically, yeah, man. Power Play Studios actually was the first time that I actually started making beats. That's why I That's why I actually interned at Power Play Studios. Like I told you last episode, in my 11th grade year of John F. Kennedy High School, uh, my first semester, I was going to Power Play Studios and going instead of going straight to school, I actually got school credit as an intern working at Power Play Studios instead of going to school. So I would say months later I started making beats. Well, actually, no. Before that, let me backtrack. My bad. Let me backtrack. Okay, it was like this. I would say maybe, okay, 5 days a week. You have to go to your internship because I was under a program called City at School, right? So 5 days a week, I had to go to the job. I had to go to the intern job site, right? But every once a month, I think every once a month, we all had to meet up with each other at the actual headquarters, City Ass School over in Manhattan. It's an actual high school that exists now. Fun fact: the famous artist used to attend City Ass School. Basquiat, as a side fun fact. But anyway, um, but yeah, every once a month we had to go to the high school, the City Ass High School, as a meeting, for a meeting, as you know, to update ourselves, whatever, right? So, so the supervisor, the intern supervisor, was like, "Yo, y'all got to do a project. Y'all got to do a project. Uh, 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 so you got to do a project surrounded by your experience as an intern at this particular job site." So I was like, word. I was like, I could do a beat. I could do an instrumental. That was my first idea because that was the main reason why I wanted to intern at Power Play Studios. At Power Play Studios, basically to learn how to make beats. So so I got so I definitely told one of the managers, Joey, who was a manager slash beat maker, you know. uh, Joey was always making beats at Power Play Studios from the MPC because we had like the MPC 62 in the studio. So I was like, Joey, can you help me make a beat? You know what I'm saying? And I really didn't want Joey to make the whole fucking beat. You know, he was like, okay, I can help you make a beat, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Really, I wanted him to teach me how to make a beat. Maybe I wasn't really transparent or that transparent what I really wanted him to do. I really didn't want him to make the complete beat for me or whatever. So one day, this dude Joey, the music producer slash manager, he makes the whole fucking beat for me, and I'm just sitting down, you know. And by the way, I wanted to sample of Curtis Mayfield, Pusher Man by Curtis Mayfield, which was a part of the Curtis Mayfield. No, yeah, it was a Curtis Mayfield album in a way, but it was the soundtrack to the iconic movie Superfly, or the black exploitation Superfly. I don't know why they called it black exploitation, but anyway. But yeah, so I told Joey this is what I want to sample off, right? So he took the CD, put on the song Pusher Man by Curtis Mayfield, and he sampled off it. And I wanted to do something. I wanted to make like a drum pattern or something. You know what I'm saying? Just to say that I made something, or I made at least half the beat or a quarter of the beat. No, but this nigga Joey, this nigga made the whole damn beat for me. Maybe because he's such a beat maker and he loves making beats. So he decided in his mind, like, Victory, he decided in his mind, yo, I'm just gonna make this whole beat for this nigga. Because he just loved making beats. But he could make beats anytime. He got his own equipment in his own house. And plus he makes beats, you know what I'm saying, at Power Play Studios. I never made a beat before in my life. So let me make a beat, nigga. Teach me how to make you know what I mean? So He made the whole beat for me with the Curtis Mayfield sample, and I was mad at the nigga. I was like, yo, Joey, man, I wanted to make this whole fucking. I wanted I wanted you to help me use the NPC with your little bit of assistance, and I wanted to make most of the beat at least. You know what I'm saying? But you made the whole shit for me. That wasn't part of that wasn't what I intended. And he was getting frustrated at me. He was like, "You'll never make it in this business. You'll never make it in this business." So me, so me and him had a whole big argument, man. I was mad at the nigga. I didn't talk to the nigga for like a whole day. You know, the next day I didn't talk to the nigga. You know, but we were cool afterwards. We squashed it, whatever. I mean, we didn't squash it by shaking hands and hugging. It was just no big deal. It was just a little argument. Fuck it, you know. So later on, it was just business as usual, you know. But big shout outs to Joey for doing a whole damn beat for me and not letting me do shit. Thanks a lot, Joey. Once again, thanks a lot for me for helping me, but not letting me doing nothing. Nothing. And this was years ago. This is like, damn, this is back in 1990, 96 or 97. This was almost 30 years ago. Either or, it was almost 30 years ago. I'm like, damn, that's just a long time. A long time. But yeah, man, I was upset, man. I was upset at the brother because he just didn't want me to do anything. This was my project. This was my project, and I actually didn't do nothing to make this project. You know, of course, I didn't tell the supervisor that. You know what I'm saying? So I submitted my little project. You know what I'm saying, for Power Play Studios. You know, I submitted my little project, and the lady, she was admired. She was like, "Wow, okay, pretty good, Mr. Agile." That's my last name, but pretty good, Mr. Agile. You know, even though I didn't do nothing. You know, but anyway, that was my Power Play Studio stories. You know, that was my Power Play. Anybody that because Power Play Studios, they started out with a little trailer promoting their possible documentary, right? But nobody's doing nothing, you know. Especially ever since Spider D, who's my very first boss. Now Spider D was my very first boss that I ever worked for. And now if you look him up, Spider D was a rap artist from the old school. Started out in the late 70s when I was born as a rapper, and he was actually managed by Russell Simmons under Rush Management. And he had a couple of hit songs back in the day. And he actually managed, it wasn't really a life plan of his, but he actually managed Power Play Studios along with Ronald Chevalier. So big shout outs to big shout outs to Spider D. I hope you get well, Spider. I hope you get well. He's in the hospital right now. But yeah, man. That was my Power Play Studio story, man. That was my Power Play story, yo. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that used to if you ever visit Power Play Studio, let's say you was a rapper back in the 80s and 90s, an underground rapper, and you actually book studio time at Power Play Studios, or you actually visit Power Play Studios to record music, or let's say you was a part of your homeboy's entourage and you was just in the studio. You didn't actually book studio time. You was in the studio with one of your homies, your brothers, your cousins, whatever, and you actually acknowledge or bear witness to, Power Play Studios. If you have a little Power Play Studio story, let me know. Because like I said, they stopped. Well, I don't know if they stopped filming or videotaping details about Power Play Studios, but I don't see no documentary No more documentary promos about Power Play Studios. I don't see no Netflix specials, no Netflix promotional shit like that, whatever. No Netflix promo about Power Play Studios, no Hulu promos about Power Play Studios, no nothing on Power Play Studios. You know what I'm saying? So if you visit Power Play Studios and you like to tell your little story about Power Play Studios, let me know because I really want to beef up this documentary of Power Play Studios because they're not doing it. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna do my version of Power Play Studios. That's why I call this segment of Grind Ethics Power Play stories. So I'm gonna tell you at least, my version of Power Play Studios. Because I wasn't really, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not gonna hold y'all. When Power Play Studios was at its prime, I wasn't there. I was absent. I actually came to Power Play Studios after the golden age of Power Play Studios, or after the prime of Power Play, or after Power Play Studios was really lit. Because when I went there, it wasn't really lit no more. You know, actually, Power Play Studios wasn't making that much money. You know what I'm saying? But this was the time when Power Play Studios did move one of their studios from Queens to Manhattan, and they kept two of their music studios, or music studio rooms. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm out. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Power Play Studios, Power Play Stories, Power Play Stories. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this episode. And no stress. If you would like to make a friendly donation, that'll be very peace. You know what I'm saying? The link is down below. Grind Ethics or Cash App, Grind Ethics, whatever. Hit me up. And remember, peoples, I gotta say this. Tell a friend to tell a friend that it's all about the motherfucking grind. Basically.